Welcome back. I am here with Player of the Week, Team Liquid's jungler, Broxah. Congratulations, and now I will allow you to open it up.
Finally.
Yeah, finally.
Oh, wow.
Okay, wait, pop that baby out. So now I think you got to cheat a little bit because you saw all of the Player of the Week statues, so you had time to pose. What do you think?
I think it's great. It's the good old Broxah smash pose back from my time in the LEC. So I'm actually not surprised. I was kind of expecting this pose to to appear on my statue, but it's really cool. I like it.
Yeah, that is really cute. I like the whole Broxah smash, especially since last week Team Liquid had an excellent performance. So now that you've had a couple weeks to kind of mesh in with the team, and you guys did have that really good week, like, what do you think of your whole situation on Team Liquid right now?
I think we've been having a couple of good weeks, I would say. I think the past 3 games especially, we've been doing really well. We're improving a lot. Our scrims are getting better and better with time. And yeah, I'm really happy we're improving as a team. And it feels great that I'm getting some recognition individually as well. So not complaining.
Yeah, I hear a lot of fans praising you, so I think recognition is definitely there. But you play against CLG today, and, you know, Pobelter, who was originally starting at the beginning of the split as a coach for Team Liquid, and then also helping when you were still out of the country. So now that you get to go against CLG and Pobelter, is there any extra added spice in that matchup?
It feels really interesting that I'm about to go up against Pobelter, because just 2 months ago I was sitting at home and I was coaching him and helping him figure out how to jungle, and now he is on the enemy team. It's a bit unfortunate he plays mid, not jungle. That would have been fun, but I'm looking forward to it. And while CLG hasn't been having the best split so far, I think we definitely need to respect them, because they've been improving as well, and they actually haven't been looking bad at all the past week. So if we get to ahead of ourselves, I think we're going to be taken down. So
yeah, definitely. Of course, definitely take him seriously, because now Pobelter knows all your jungling tricks. But Broxah, thank you and best of luck to you in your next game. And for everyone who's watching at home, if you want one of these little mini Broxah statues or any statues of the Player of the Week, all you have to do is tweet at MasterCard Nexus. But that's it for us here. Back to you guys.
Hello and welcome back to the State Farm Analyst Desk for Team Liquid versus Counterlogic Gaming. Both teams are bringing in Academy bot laners for various reasons. And before we get to those substitutions, I'm just going to call out, it's getting rather crowded there on the Player of the Week shelf.
Yeah, gonna have to take Kobe down.
I was going to say, Kobe, are you worried that you're going to be bumped off the shelf here soon?
Honestly, look at the poses, though. Mine's pretty good.
It is pretty good. You set a high bar to kick things off there with the Players of the Week. I appreciate, though, more recently, a number of our players have come up with more unique stances.
More diversity.
Broxah doing something that is unique to his brand and his brand specifically. But I'll use that. I'll go ahead and use that as the transition point back into this game, citing Broxah saying that more recent weeks have looked better for Team Liquid. And coincidentally, that coincides with that substitution that they made just last week. Tactical coming in. Doublelift now officially benched off the lineup, made official this last week over social. What do we feel about this move?
I mean, a lot of people keep citing that Tactical and CoreJJ duo a lot in solo queue, and they've been playing aggressively themselves. On stage, you can't really argue with it, right? And there's a reason why they have actually made this move. I do think that Doublelift will be back at some point, but to me right now, Team Liquid looked the best that they have looked all split.
Yeah, and it's not complete coincidence. I think based off the wording in this one about how I need to prove myself to my teammates, my motivation was lacking, like that's definitely something that can grate on you over the course of a season if you just see one of your teammates not putting in the same level of effort. And so this is a wake-up call for Doublelift. It's a moment for the teammates to get to play without him and kind of get that freedom a little bit. And so it seems to be working well, and everyone seems to be handling it professionally. So like you're saying, I expect Doublelift to be back soon. But in the meantime, Tacticals look great.
Let's do a quick hit on their last week performance, starting with Tactical, and then we'll bring in Broxah as well.
Yeah, no, Tactical actually performed really well individually. I think his stats were amazing, and we even kind of joked like this is you know, Player of the Week kind of thing. Because yeah, if you took away his name and you put in Doublelift there, you'd be like, oh yeah, just give him Player of the Week. That was great. They've been doing bad, but no, he did really well. And I'll reiterate, just like they said, it actually spread across the whole team. Like, CoreJJ looked like himself. Like, Broxah looked really good. And Jensen and Impact were playing really well, too. So the whole team just kind of gelled. And that's kind of weird, bringing in a new player and for the team to actually kind of coalesce like that.
Yeah, week 6, we finally got that taste of Broxah that we were expecting to see once he was able to get over here on, or over in LA rather. But a big performance by him, and ultimately would be the one that picked up that player of the week.
Oh, this one.
I mean, this is our first impression of Broxah when he came over, and it was like, oof. I mean, he's jet lagged. It's a bit of a struggle, but things should get better. And it did start improving a little bit, but last week was definitely when it finally flipped into.
I like that both our replays were the.
Yeah.
That was
the start.
That proved my point, right?
Putting
Didn't
the
that
bar
prove
low.
my point?
That was the double
really good.
Broxah just showed up. And then there's much better plays from last
We promised there were many better plays.
Yeah, it looks better.
Yeah. Okay, so to refresh your memory of the good ones, it was he had the Lee Sin play where his kicks were actually getting the target back into the team, unlike the one we just saw there. Plus the Gragas initiations that he had were really big. And that's one of the things why people were initially memeing when they're saying, oh, bench double lift, tactical forever, because there's multiple factors that are causing Team Liquid to look better right now. It's not just, oh, yes, now we have tactical in. Broxah as well has been with the team for longer, looking so much better individually as well. And when the jungler changes, the whole team changes.
The whole team for TL is looking on the up and up as of right now. If we go ahead and flip over to the other side of the matchup today, CLG obviously in struggle city when it comes to their opportunity at a postseason. I did have the opportunity to talk to Pobelter just this week, and he was fairly frank about their approach. Look, while mathematically we're still in it, we will gun for it. We are going to put the effort out there, but they are very prepared to be denied mathematically their pathway to playoffs. And at that point, it is about retooling towards summer and focusing on incremental improvements, the likes of which we've actually seen in just a short time with him joining the team. And that's, I think, what could give CLG fans some hope.
It is interesting, though, because STIXAY has been a mainstay. He's one of the longest people on a roster at this point in the LCS.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of crazy to see him
hit the bench
for Wind, because like you're saying, there's all of these other things that they need to improve on. So I'm really interested on how he's going to look when he steps in.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that STIXAY was the biggest problem for this team, but I would say I give CLG carte blanche right now to change whatever the hell you want to make things better.
I love it. I love it. You got full permission from Kobe there over in the CounterLogic Gaming camp to do what you will as the teams head into Champion Select. That's my cue to hand it back over to our brilliant casters. Gentlemen?
But Kobe, they won a game last weekend.
They did! They got to keep that one going. Such is the case, that's all right. CLG have teleported back to week 4. Somehow only 1-5. Of course, that's not quite the record, but we'll see if the road upward can go well for them. They are 2-10 indeed, just double that scoreline on both the win and loss column, and that is how they're doing so far. Yes, they won a game last weekend. Yes, they beat EG a while ago. CLG, though, as a per-player basis, disagree with bringing Wind in for STIXAY. Now, if there's things going on behind the scenes, or if they're trying to plan for the future, sure, I can accept that logic. But look at the Academy games. Wind has played 8 games over there. His stats are unequivocally worse than STIXAY's. His win rate is worse than STIXAY's. There is no thing that I can look at that tells me Wind is a better player than STIXAY. If you're doing this to turn your season around, on paper, this is not the choice.
Yeah, and I mean, I think there could be something they're seeing in scrims. Hey, maybe he's performing better there. Maybe there are other behind-the-scenes issues. And maybe when you're sitting at 2-10, you're just thinking, what are we going to do next split, right? And if you think, hey, Wind has the ability to really step up and become a great player for this organization if we give him stage time and we allow him to develop alongside the LCS squad, then maybe that makes sense. And I do think that CLG is kind of trying to look for it, because at this point, let's be honest, they're not going to make playoffs, right?
Yeah.
It's so incredibly unlikely for them to be able to do that. Janna coming in, this very well could be top lane Janna. We actually saw this played by Wonder earlier today.
Definitely top lane Janna.
Definitely top lane Janna.
100%.
100%. Wow, that's a big percentage.
That is a very large percentage. Everything is always going to be accurate here. Janna is definitely in the top lane. She's going to buy Spell Thieves, and she's going to heal the crap out of her team.
Yeah, it's actually, pre-Spell Thief nerfs that are on live now. This was the highest win rate top laner in solo queue, and by a lot. It was something like 58%, which is absurdly overpowered.
It's better than Soraka top was in solo queue.
Yeah, Sona, Janna, Soraka, all these types of champions had gained a lot of popularity utilizing this Spell Thieves play. You can farm, I believe, 2 minions per wave without actually going into the penalties for Spell Thieves. So you pick up a couple minions per wave, you stay in range for experience, you harass and proc Spell Thieves on cooldown, and then you just become a Janna who has a ton of gold, a ton of levels, and can really support your team come team fight time. When you're playing against something like an Ornn can't just win the game through side laning against Janna, you know? So with that locked in, I do think it makes sense as a pick, and I am assuming it's going to be top. Of course, it could just be played standard in support role, but it's one of those things where generally I think the best strategy against these types of comps where you run the support top and try to group and team fight is a split pusher. But with Ornn, unless they're going to move that to mid lane and give Impact some type of split push champion, which they probably won't because that's just not TL style, right. I think it's going to be great.
I think it's going to be great. They've got an Aphelios to buff up. They got a Thresh for some playmaking as well.
So for sure, top.
Yeah. I mean, this is looking pretty hype. I do think this is fun. I am always happy to see teams throw out stuff and try it out. When we had, if you watched LEC this morning, or evening if you're over in Europe, or any other farther time zone east of us, but...
What other time zones are
Anyway, sorry, let's get on to the actual topic, which was G2's top laner Wonder was talking about playing Janna. He's like, yeah, I scrimmed with it 3 times. I saw that, like, the champion was absurdly OP in solo queue and was like, well, I should just try, even though it's going to get nerfed really soon. This was a good pick for it, so I went with it. And yeah, it was like a game-winning pick. I will always respect a player who's like, even though it's not going to work next week because the spell keeps getting changed, I will try this out, I will innovate, I will play the new thing. I respect that of a player. I'm happy Rune's doing it. I'm happy CLG's picking it for him, and I think CLG will look good with this pick.
And I think, again, you know, it makes even more sense if you're in CLG's situation and you're 2-10, right? Swing for the fences a bit here.
Yeah.
You are not expected to beat TL. TL have won 4 of their last 5, although they are 6-6. You know, they're on a bit of a hot streak. They dominated last weekend, only had, what, 1 death between the 2 games, something absurd like that. So I respect taking a swing here and saying, hey, maybe this is not something we're going to do every week, but this could get us a win over TL and, you know, keep us in the running.
Yeah, post Broxah, Team Liquid is a 4-2 team, and look, a couple of those losses were jet-lagged Broxah, right? Where it's like he landed 3 days ago, and you give him a pass. 3 wins straight for them, as you mentioned, for the last 5. It has been looking better. The CLG going to round out the team comp. Mid laner gets picked. They are saving jungler for last, which I find a little interesting, but they will make sure they see what the comp is before they lock in Wigglily's champ.
And that always tells me you have a conditional pick. When you save jungle for last, it's not about like a lane counter pick. It's about, you know, generally, I have something that I think could be good if their composition allows for it. So you want to be able to see what your opponents are going to run and then pick based on that. I do think when you're running these types of compositions with a Janna top versus Rocket top, you want a high damage jungler. So it could be something along the lines of, are you considering, you know, Olaf? Are you considering maybe even a Kindred or a Graves or something like that that can scale well and be another kind of force for your team? But I will say, CLG is pretty damn low on engage right now. Yes, there is some ability to pick with, say, a Gravitum ult or with a Thresh hook or these types of things, but this is not consistent engage, and this is not going to give you the engage to reach the backline carries, the Viktor and the MF, right? When you come to teamfight time, if Ornn and Braum are standing ahead, you can't just hard engage onto them, even if you land that Thresh hook. So it is going to be Trundle. This does improve your ability to actually land hooks as well as scatter the weak with consistency. You throw down the pillar, the AoE slow there, plus a little pop-up gives you a chance to follow up on that. It also helps them to shred through the front line. So although Trundle is not traditionally built as kind of a damage carry, you know, in the LCS, it is effectively, you know, giving you the same sort of idea, right? It's making the tank squishier and kind of fulfilling that same role.
Right, he's essentially a gigantic damage amp for your entire squad, and so yeah, maybe you knock down the Ornn fast enough, the Braum will kind of only have stone plate for the majority of the game. So front-to-back team fighting, I think, does look pretty good for CLG here. The backline should be safe. They've got 2 good carries.
I'm also really interested to follow the bottom lane here because I do think with this type of composition, Wind has to have a good game. If you get slammed in lane, you don't have really enough of a consistent damage source to protect. The Janna is there to buff someone up, to take that strong carry and make them even stronger. Last time these 2 teams fought, it was 6A and Doublelift in the bot lane, so completely different bot laners, but TL absolutely slammed CLG. Doublelift and CoreJJ got a 2v2 kill. They were up over 30 CS. They were dominant, and CLG is going to have a strong laning performance here from Wind and Smoothie if they want this composition to work out.
We'll see if they can do it right now. Tactical is deathless in the LCS. Team Liquid are undefeated with him on the roster. He'll decided that, yep, it's going to be him and Doublelift fighting for the spot. They signed a new academy, bot laner to play down there, and we're going to see how much work can be done as Team Liquid hope to continue to rise up the standings. They are in playoff position. We know top 2 is what you are fighting for, and FlyQuest and TSM are in striking distance for the TL squad. Counter Logic Gaming not out. but certainly down. We'll see if they can move their way back up. They can make it a top 6. They are 4 wins behind 6th place right now with only a few games to play, 6 to go. Real quick, as the fans chant back and forth, Aphelios standing by with Dodo.
Thanks, guys. Dodo, we see tactical. Oh, my goodness. Oh. And he's out. There we go. Okay, well, there's our man of the hour right there. Tactical and survives the invade. But just asking, decision-making for continuing to keep him in this week despite double lift recovering.
Yep, so we used Tactical last week and we had a pretty great week. And the team in general played really well around Tactical. And then there was a lot of things that Tactical was bringing to the team competitive-wise. So we definitely wanted to see more of him with the team. And, you know, we wanted to make sure we can have a better decision going into the rest of the split with the strongest roster.
Well, I'm sure he's excited to prove himself, and the fans are excited to see him play. Dodo, thank you, and back to you guys.
Well, it gets to be the difficult honor of leashing his team on a ward and being summoner list for the first 4 minutes of the game.
I almost thought you cursed him. You know, you're talking about how he was deathless.
Yeah.
Well, look what you've done here, freak.
I know. Yeah, it's always fun to do. It looks like both of them are going to be spotted on their red buffs as they start. Wiggily going leashless here for the most part. I believe maybe Ruin helped a little bit.
Look at this. So this is actually really important. Jensen is lane swap top against the Janna.
I like that.
This is actually really intelligent. You put Ornn mid, where he can just rush Abyssal and actually be, you know, completely fine against Syndra. So that's no longer a dangerous matchup there. You put Viktor top, where it is a range versus range matchup that can actually win out against this Janna. Ornn is not going to have the ability to take down the Janna, and it gives Janna a free lane to actually proc Spell Thieves constantly. Anytime you are going to proc your Spell Thieves in a range matchup as this Janna, when you're against the Viktor, you are going to be getting traded back on. So it's actually A, a lot harder to keep up the gold efficiency of that item and have that on cooldown the whole time, and B, you can just get bullied out and straight up lose this 1v1. He also doesn't even have teleport.
Oh, instant play to the bottom side. Can they knock down Tactical at level 1? The tower dive is not working yet. Finally, one traded back. The stun comes down. It's a 1-for-1 as we mentioned. First blood going over Team Liquid.
Yeah, Tactical does get first blood. I like the play from CLG. Very aggressive. They had level 1 still on both of those TL bot laners. So they're able to do a very well-timed dive here. This was just a red to blue, straight to bot, roam down here from Pobelter, and they go for it. But Tactical is positioned pretty well. They get the Braum stun over onto Win. He did get autoed by CoreJJ, and Tactical is able to proc that, allowing them to take him down and get first blood before he does fall.
You have to imagine, shouldn't he just waited for Smoothie to pull aggro in the first place? Now Ruin takes the damage, does not have teleport.
Yeah.
Gets the taste of blood damage, but getting back to lane is going to be hard.
Exactly. So this is actually a really big deal. When you're not playing TP, as Wiggily may try gank here again, we'll see if that happens, but when you're not playing TP, every gank like this where you even just get chunked out, but you survive, is way more punishing because you don't have control of the wave, right? And you know, this matchup is going to become much more difficult for Ruin. Anytime he's getting chunked out, he's going to lose control. You know, Jensen right now is trying to deny a lot of these minions, and Ruin's actually not even going back to top. He's roaming mid.
He's going to roam to try to fight the Ornn lane right here. Pobelter's getting pushed around, and Pobe can at least TP to top side, but now a fight in the bottom side. 3v2 down here. Summoners are mostly gone. They're going to find that stun on a Thresh. The battle coming continuing forward as Smoothie finds the kill on Tactical, and they have instantly halved Tactical's KDA.
Yeah, 2 deaths in the first couple minutes after having a deathless weekend. Janna shows mid, so they're actually just going to try to lane swap here. It will allow Jensen to just push up top, and then he could even match that lane swap and just kind of continue to do this, because so far, Ruin has been having a lot of trouble in that matchup against the Viktor, and I see no reason that they shouldn't just kind of try to maintain those lanes and swap around. You know, have Jensen base, have Impact try to push this out, but here this is one more time. Wiggily waiting out of range of that ward is spotted now. Smoothie, though, flashes in, finds the hook there onto Tactical, who did not have his flash. I do think maybe CoreJJ could have just tanked that hook and allowed Tactical to kind of just get out of there, give up his life instead. But it is hard to say.
Yeah.
And it's one of those situations where maybe CoreJJ is thinking, hey, well, I can dodge it. If he can dodge it too, then neither of us have to use Summoner and we get out for free.
Yeah.
But either way, it does mean Tactical goes down one more time, and he's very far down in farm. Lucky he got that first blood, because otherwise it would have been pretty bad. And TL does just lane swap right back. And now it's going to be Wiggily coming here because Ruin wants to get out. he's just going to try to lane swap again, and it's going to be kind of the shuffle back and forth. That is why you're calling your jungler here, not to try to gank, but to say, help me push in this wave so I can leave. I don't want to lane against the Viktor.
And what's kind of nice is, you know, if you're Kobe, you're happy that you're the jungler here because you can take the wave, right? Janna's going to hit, you know, CS penalties if she goes too hard on that one.
Kobe?
So, yeah, like, because Kobe loves taxing waves. He loves money all the time, you know? He's trying to be the rich boy jungler. And so, yeah, you know, hey, congratulations, Trundle. Here's some extra CS. It also means as they shove down mid together, they're going to go for the Ocean Drake. So, kind of Logic Gaming, right, finding a couple of windows here. Do want to kind of caution any early doom and gloom from that first dive being maybe questionable because kind of Logic Gaming basically tied in gold, up that Drake, and they will continue to try to find that Janna lane.
Yeah, and the CS doesn't tell the full story when you're looking at these jungle lanes because so much of your gold is from the Spell Thieves. So despite the fact that it's 48 to 19 when you're comparing the Viktor to him, he's only down like 300 gold. You know, it's really not as bad as you would expect. It's actually more important that you get the experience, and that's where I'm a little bit more concerned because Ruin just hit level 5. Jensen has been 6 for a bit, so he is falling pretty far behind in experience, and that is the cost of trying to lane swap back and forth constantly and trying to dodge this lane, is that if your opponent has lane control when you do that, you are missing minions and you're missing experience. And Ruin, again, is just running away from Viktor essentially this whole game, so he is falling down in the experience, and TL have very well scaling solo laners. It's not as though they're super dependent upon their early game, so giving Viktor and Ornn a free lane, that has a cost too.
Yep. What's also funny, by the way, is as I just keep watching Ruin and Wiggily play together, Wiggily can also run into CS penalties, by the way. The jungle item also has this for the first, I think, 14 minutes of the game. It's no longer whether you finish the enchant, it's are you 14 minutes in the game? So if he has, if 1/3 of his gold income, or I think it's 2/3 of his gold income is from minions as opposed to jungle camps, he will take minus 10 gold per minion. So they kind of have to balance both of them together and make sure they're not sharing too heavily on just one player. So far, they're fine. They're not hitting penalties, so that's fine so far. But keep that in mind that you can get to a point where even Wiggily doesn't want that CS.
Yeah, now they're going to move up towards top. It's just this kind of roam squad. The Janna and this Trundle moving up towards top side to potentially dive Jensen. But with Broxah here, both of them level 6, it could be risky. I wouldn't have mind Jensen just ulting the wave, to be honest, to actually clear that out. But they think they can find a fight here as Impact roams up.
It's at least enough safety that there's no play to be had. And look at that satisfying death ray. Auto's the last one, and Jensen stays up to 65 CS. So most farm in the game is Viktor going back and forth, pushing first, claiming the wave, saying, hey, Ruin, run away from me. And Ruin obliges.
Yep, Ruin is just going to keep doing this. And it's going to be up to what their team fights actually do look like. Can you just amp up what is being put out here by Wind enough that it's really going to kind of make this Janna pick worthwhile? You know, Janna is going to be very annoying for some of the champions on TL's side. It's really difficult as a Lee Sin, for example, to actually, dive in and have these plays being made because you can easily be tornadoed out of a Q, you can be ulted out of that Q. It's very simple to actually deny a lot of those engages unless you can come from an angle that Janna doesn't see you or get a kick flash, these types of plays. So it is going to make it a lot harder for some of these melee champions on TL to get things done.
And it's still a very close game, and the Janna is going to keep going at a late game. It's one thing we talked about when we had Soraka's in the game as well, is that the farming, quasi-farming support who's getting solo XP is a carry in the sense that they're supporting so much. The shield is so big, the healing's so good. Broxah did not know Wiggily was there. The ward hop is down, has to burn the kick, has to flash away as well. Nice patience there by Wiggily. Flash follows. He gets another knock-up. Might find something. A pillar buys a bit of time. Ruin flashing for the slow. The chase down. Is it enough with the blast cone? Trying to get him away, and Broxah goes down to Wiggily. And suddenly it's 3v1 as Impact is running for dear life as well. Pobelter does have the ulti, but not enough damage to kill the target off as Impact keeps running backwards. Finds the slow. Might find some CC. Right now it's the Rift Herald being attacked as Impact pushed away. Kind of Logic Gaming. 3-1 in kills in this game.
Yeah, nicely done there. They find a fight, get a kill, and their bot lane had already been moving up. So it is actually Wind pushing in that mid lane. They're going to get an easy Herald here. Tactical staying down on that bottom side, looking to try to cash in on plates there, but CLG coming out quite a bit ahead on this play.
Impressive stuff, Counter Logic Gaming. Winning through the new picks, putting in the Janna and finding, a couple of moments there. Also a lot of pressure on the bottom side. Wind, Smoothie, and Wiggily have done a lot down there.
First turret going to be theirs too. With the Rift Herald, there's not really any way that Tactical can outrace this. There's still 4 plates alive on that bottom lane, so they're going to be able to get this. And I'm interested to see if they actually just keep pushing with it, because no one's walking up here to prevent this additional charge that could be coming out from this Herald. but CLG looking like they just want to back off, so Jensen should be able to potentially prevent it.
Yeah, if Jensen gets there in time to hit the weak point, he's going to be fine. It's
Nope.
gonna slam, it looks like. And that is that turret going down to just below half HP, so pretty good rewards there. Counter Logic Gaming up 1,500 gold up the Ocean Drake, and Cloud spawns in 20 seconds. So far, so great for CLG. A couple of recalls have come off with all the pressure on Tactical. Wind is up in lane, Tony CS. Equal in gold, by the way, the first blood making up for the assists in the CS.
Yeah, and they weren't able to kind of extend any sort of advantage. You know, it was 30 CS to 10 after that second death from Tactical because he had gotten taken down a couple times pretty early. That has not gotten worse, at least for TL, but I mean, Wind is in a decent spot here. And potentially for this next Dragon fight, it looks like CLG just wants to force it. CLG should be playing around objectives because this composition is based around teamfighting, is based around Janna being grouped with the team and being valuable there.
This fight's pretty good for both junglers, sorry, both supports, but the jungler is going to be better for CLG. Wiggily has Cinder Hulk done, no Warrior Fin for Broxah, so should feel a bit stronger there. Jensen coming around, Impact on the top-hand side, full-on 5v5. The Janna is here, has the ulti, a pull-in on CoreJJ, instantly gone is the Braum. Ornn doesn't get a whole lot done as CLG disengages, gets away from the Chaos Storm, and Impact is forced to run. Ruin still has the ulti, there's the top off, and CLG back to full health. That is the power of Janna, and suddenly TL have at most a smite fight, and even Broxah doesn't want that one. So Counter Logic Gaming win the clean 5-on-5, and outside of a Miracle Steal, get the second Drake as well.
Very well done, and when you have this 2 Dragon to 0 lead, your opponents can't just ignore the fact that you're stacking up this dragon, that you're working towards the Ocean Soul, or excuse me, the Infernal Soul, as that is going to be the one that spawns. So they're going to be able to get continued team fights every time one of those spawns. TL is going to have to challenge them there, and TL was pretty disorganized in that fight. Yes, it makes sense if you're trying to flank on the Ornn, but TL didn't really have the ability to actually collapse at the same time, so CoreJJ was kind of up in the front, gets picked off, and Ornn can then not move forward, or they'll just collapse on him. And TL just didn't really seem as prepared for that fight as CLG.
Ruins had the missing a cannon there, but still feeling pretty safe. And again, XP, the important thing, getting really high-level spells is important. Janna, of course, maxing W for the one-on-one, the bigger slow, bigger burst damage. Going Q second for wave clear, so it is going to be a lower rank shield. One of the big things about that ability is the cooldown scales with rank. So even though you have eventually AP to bolster the attack damage given, to bolster the shield amount given, the cooldown is going to be very, very long if it stays at 1.1 wonder.
Yeah, I've got to say I'm a little bit surprised to see that he put 4 points in W, considering he's just lane swapping most of the game anyway. He's not actually really doing that much laning, so I think you could have afforded to maybe put a couple points in Q and then go more heavily into E. You know, players have different kind of thought processes on this, on how many points you put into your laning skill. Oftentimes you'll see supports do things like a couple points into that Q for laning and then go towards this kind of more supportive style. But here he has 4 points in W, a couple points in Q, so yeah, the shield max is going to be very heavily delayed.
And that's the fight of the blue buff, as there's no brush to keep anyone safe. Nice steal. What? There we go, got it.
Ruin got it.
Yeah, okay. Blue on Janna, not a bad thing, honestly. Throwback to the very first LCS game ever played, where CLG picked Syndra mid before it was meta, and stole TSM's blue buff. That blue buff right there as a level 1 invade. Bit of history for everyone.
I like it.
Yep.
Good memory.
I cast it.
Did you?
I did. I was very excited because like, wow, Syndra, haven't seen that before. Now Ruin. Oh, that is what you want to see! Ult timed right. Impact can't redirect the horn. The knockup does, well, from the pillar it lands, but is there enough damage? Impact finds a knockup. Here comes the TP from behind as Jensen comes to show up. Is it going to be good enough? Chaos Storm's not going to kill Ruin, and he runs easily to safety. TP down to keep the top laner safe.
Yeah, Jensen is able to keep him alive, TPing back up there after some insane Janna mechanics.
Woo!
Gets showed out there from Ruin. And Janna really is just kind of that denial-style champion. As much of a meme as it is, that is what you can get from Janna. It's so frustrating to play against as these melee champions that can't necessarily get back to your opponent, right? Sure, Ornn dives in, uses the Searing Charge, but if you actually get rejected out after that, you're kind of just having to try to waddle through a Trundle and Tornadoes and the W slow and all these things. It becomes very frustrating.
Yeah, I am curious, by the way, as we keep seeing Wiggily take most of the side lane farm. Janna will never kill a cast minion, for example. And now that we're 14 minutes in, there's no jungle CS penalty anymore, right? So Wiggily can take anything he ever wants once the game. He'll get full credit. I am curious if we see damage items come through on Wiggily at any point in time.
Yeah.
He's going to start tank, obviously, but like, what if Cleaver does come through? What if Titanic Hydra does come through? Because he's got a Janna to help protect him and make sure that stays safe.
So I actually think it's perfectly reasonable if he did go for that, because there is also an Ornn, and that's kind of your tank stats that you're actually going to be stealing in a lot of team fights. I do think with the Kindle Gem coming through, it's just going to be Knight's Vow, and it's going to be all in on Win, and he's going to build supportive items, and we won't see it. But I agree. I think there's room for it in these types of comps, and I would have been totally fine with that.
All right, now we keep Ruin, who's just hitting away, and very quickly, I think we're pretty close to this one now, is going to have the full completion on the item. Actually, 668 of 1,000. So several minutes to go until he's earned all the money that item can give him, but another gank is coming. Impact does have flash. For a few moments, though, no ultimate. So the slows are in, and it's decent damage. Wiggily has committed the ultimate. Really good damage coming across. W gets popped, but Impact just not enough stats, and the two of them wear down that Team Liquid tank.
Yeah, they have so many slows between the Pillar, the W, the Tornadoes, just locking him down. And despite the fact that there's not damage items on the Trundle, the ultimate really is shredding through a lot of Impact's health and resistances there. So pretty annoying, slow death for him.
Yep.
And in the meantime, CLG also able to take down that mid lane turret. So 3,000 gold ahead. Very strong team fighting potential with this type of composition. CLG are looking great, and it doesn't feel like Team Liquid really has a good answer to this, because they're not playing side lane heavily. They're not trying to avoid that 5v5. CLG is already up 2 dragons to 0, so it means CL is going to have to challenge them at these neutrals where they're strongest.
Yeah, and the game feels a little bit like when Tia was on the loss streak, where they feel like they're getting a lot accomplished. They're kind of waiting around and letting their opponents do what they want. CLG have been proactive pretty well here. Infernal Drake is up. TL not on that side of the map. Ruin's recall is late. Wiggly's recall is a little bit late as well, and Team Liquid not going to be able to punish that timing at all, so CLG will be ready to fight for Drake number 3. But assuming it goes their way, Soul points to under 23 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. I think TL is in a tough spot. It's going to require a really good engage from them to be able to punish this. You need to kill someone off very early on.
Nice Lantern, nice hook, nice double play as well, but the re-engage simply too good. Wind's gonna go down, and Ruin wasn't in range to save him. Damage not enough. Pobelter gets the auto, gets the electrocute, and that's a trade of AD carries. Wiggily has to be afraid. There was Impact chasing him down, and Jensen's nearby as well. Broxah just limps way to safety himself. It's a 1-for-1 so far as the low health parts just barely walk away.
I felt like that could have gone a lot better for TL, but both Impact and Jensen were spending all their time trying to knock down Wiggily, who is very tanky on this Trundle. And in the meantime, Pobelter was just kind of chasing after the rest of the TL members to take them down. You know, with Wind getting knocked out at the beginning of that fight, maybe more attention should have been paid to Pobelter, who was able to TP in, but it is still TL back out on the map, charging towards this. Wind has respawned also, and we'll be moving over to that Dragon Pit, so the fight should continue.
All right, Counterlogic Gaming looking to pick up this Drake. It would be soul point for them. Infernal adds a little bit of flat damage over the top, which would be nice. Even multiplies the Drake itself, multiplies the support power. You get raw AP, which is quite nice, as Ruin looks for a bit of poke. Has started maxing shield, by the way. Stayed at 2 points Q, 2 points now
Makes
in the
sense.
shield, so is doing that for the mid to late game team fighting power. I agree, definitely makes sense to go that way. As he finds some poke, tastes some blood, but Impact's not going to feel that damage.
Yeah, now that he actually has the Athenes, all of that damage he gets in does matter, because you're charging up the Athenes for this heal that can be added with the shield. Pobelter, remember, has no summoners, so he is potentially vulnerable to a kick flash once that kick is back up here for Broxah. That is up very soon. And I think this is part of the reason we're seeing CLG be pretty hesitant here, but Wind is by himself on the bottom.
Ult comes in, Wind's in a bad spot. Ulti's gonna land. Drake comes over, no problem. The Lantern brings Wiggily to safety, and Wind. He's gonna find a couple of roots. That's 3 targets hit, but there's no follow for CLG. Can't find the stun, they can't find the re-engage. Afraid of what would come in, and now suddenly it's Pobelter, who steps too close to the wall and gets shut down by Impact's engage.
Yeah, this time around it is CLG that is split up. That happened to Team Liquid last time. This time it is Wind on the outside there, unable to gather up with his team. And as Pobelter stepped forward, TL knows he doesn't have summoners from that previous play. step a little bit too far forward, get knocked up by Impact. Easy takedown from him. And TL still has 4 flashes available, so a lot of playmaking. Wind has got to be pretty careful here about how he's going to play this out.
Syndra is taking damage. CLG is trying to wave through this one, but it's still getting incredibly low. Liquid flinch enough to not knock the turret down. That hook might mean something, but Impact is so tanky. There's not really a kill when Ruin shows up.
Yeah, and that Dragon is actually a really big deal because it's buying more time for TL. And I do think if you give Viktor enough time and he wants to start playing side lanes, there's not really going to be anyone who can answer him very well. You can have someone like Syndra kind of playing defensively under the turret and trying to play it out like that. But here is the Dragon fight one more time. Impact dropping the ultimate, only connecting on Wiggily, but Wind is not with the team, so CLG is having a hard time actually going forward. Wind wanted to try to use this route to buy time for the rest of CLG to get in, but then as Pobelter walks forward here, he gets tagged by the slow from CoreJJ, and that knockup was an easy turn onto the CLG mid laner. Once he is down, Wind still split. No way that CLG could look for more in that fight.
Well, CLG find their next set of items as Landry's Torment comes in for Pobelter, trying to go for mostly frontline damage here.
Yeah.
It's only good if you're going for that one. Will not be better at killing Tactical, will not be better at killing Jensen, but is going to be good in the case of having to slowly kill off Ornn.
And I think we're going to see a lot of extended fights because you have the Janna and you have this kind of disengage and re-engage style of fight. And there's a lot of melee champions in the front line of TL, the Braum, the Ornn, the Lee Sin, who are going to be getting poked away at, which should make that Leandry's quite effective.
All right, if you want to say front line, I want to see Death Cap or Void next to keep that going then. And as Wind gets towards his second major item, still waiting on the Infinity Edge. CoreJJ, will he be hooked? No, he will not. Jumps over to Broxah to clean safety as some wards go down. We know Baron is alive, and these teams are fighting over top river control. Nicely done on the bottom side. Impact, I think, was in maybe local gold range, regardless of that turret falls. Team Liquid, 1-4 in that record.
Yeah, I'm going to be interested to see if CLG want to try to threaten starting the Baron just to get a TP out of Impact. But for now, having that Scuttle Crab on TL's side means there is not going to be any attempt at that, and TL will be able to push out bot wave, reset, and it should give them the ability to maintain control in that area. There's no real threat now for CLG. And their Ocean Soul, excuse me, I keep saying Ocean, I don't know why. Okay. Their Infernal Soul is quite pushed back based on the lost fight last time around. So CLG going to be pretty dependent, I think, on this next fight going well. Keep kind of moving towards that win condition.
Yeah, one thing I want to point out actually is how XP is being divvied up here as well, because Ruin is actually under-leveled compared to his AD carry in Wind. Some of that, some portion of that was the early lane something back and forth, was getting a bit behind, but in general, he's just not been catching as many waves. Now, I would give Aphelios the gold too, don't get me wrong, like that makes more sense to me, but it does mean this Janna is not getting XP. We're not going to see that rank 3 ultimate. We're not going to see bigger points in that shield either.
Yeah, and part of that is also the fact that they split so much XP between the support and the jungle, right? You know, it is Janna and Trundle oftentimes in the same lane when those minions are dying. So, you know, more of that gold being put into his pockets. Is Jensen going to be splitting up here? Jensen going Death Cap second, and I think if he wants to play side lane, I want to see Lichbane next. It really does allow Viktor to shred through these turrets so incredibly fast that it does give you one combo potential. When you have that Lichbane plus Death Cap, you really can one round some of these squishier targets, and having that burst potential can be very important against champions like Janna, who a lot of their strength comes in when you're getting multiple rounds of shields, when you can't initially kill someone off, and they become very, very durable once the second and third shield comes back and they're getting reset back up to full.
Yeah, I mean, you get the shield off, you get the Athene seal on it, they ult, that's another couple hundred health, and their second shield comes in. I also do want to see healing reduction somewhere in that Team Liquid side for that. Now Core, ooh, what a great play! Pulls him off the jump back, Core has to flash, ult comes in for 2 roots, and that might be enough to kill him, and yes, it is. A lot of ults were burned, but CLG end the drought, they find the kill. Knockup hits absolutely nothing. And CoreJJ Gaming cleanly on the 5v4. He's dead by the time this Drake respawns.
Yeah, that is a great pick onto CoreJJ. It should grab them the Dragon. Not really sure what that ultimate was from Impact. It was so far after the fight had ended. Even if you hit everyone, I don't think that TL are going to engage off of it because Impact is over to the side. It'd be essentially a 3v5. So either way, TL will send Jensen up to the top lane. They're going to try to get an advantage through the side lane, through that farm, and just seek control of this Dragon Pit because they have no way to really take it.
And imagine TL didn't get that last fight. They didn't take Drake number 3. That would have been Soul already picked up. CLG, of course, will still take the Drake. Well done to them. A solid mid-game. Still a 2,000 gold lead. And CoreJJ Gaming really showing up to play today.
Yeah, this is one more time, and really the flay from Smoothie kind of makes all the difference. The pillar actually invisible here, so that is kind of what bumped him. And then he actually gets flayed out. You know, he gets the ability to flash back and try to escape, but the ultimate follow-up there from Wind, rooting him up and locking him down so that Pobelter can finish him off with that Syndra ultimate. Nicely done by CLG and a solid pick, utilizing Trundle plus Thresh as kind of that pseudo-hard engage.
Yeah. The items stacking up here for the Janna. I'm going to keep the track. I love enchanter supports. We don't see, I think, enough that aren't named Yuumi in the LCS right now. We're seeing him in the top lane. Athene's was done a while ago, but the Ardent Sensor is in there as well, as the stats keep stacking up. And you're going to get a lot of damage output from your Aphelios here.
And you're going to have so many additional kind of supportive items for the Aphelios, because Knight's Vow is done on the Trundle. It looks like probably a Redemption is going to be built on the Thresh with that Bracer. You already have 2 supportive items, you know, to kind of buff up the Aphelios on the Janna. And all of a sudden, you're getting much stronger than you would otherwise be expecting. I do think we could also get Zeke's on the Trundle to add in even more for the Aphelios. So Wind is going to be in a pretty great spot, and if TL can't just burst him out really quick, it gets tough.
And it's his LCS debut, right? Wind came in, he played a couple of teams over in Challengers 3 on BBQ Oliver, shout out Coach LS, and, you know, comes over to Counterlogic Gaming. He has a tough time in sort of Visa Armageddon, where he has to play remotely, then comes over, he got 8 total games in, but Stixxay had to play some as well. Comes up the LCS stage against Team Liquid, who looked really hot against the Deathless AD carry, and they're building around him. It's essentially 3 supports in Pobelter, buffing up Wind.
Yeah, it shows a lot of faith in his ability to execute in these team fights, and I think, you know, that is very, very interesting. We can also check in on Pobelter's build and see that he has gone Void Staff. So Void Staff plus Leandries, it does speak to what we were kind of expecting, hitting frontline. And as you say, that is going to be very efficient in doing that.
Go for still the rich one. Looking at the engagement. Nice damage over the top, a knock-up, and 2 stopwatches. Wiggly's got to be careful. Has to flash from the team backwards. A nice lantern brings CLG to safety. A nice engage by TL, but a nicer disengage by CLG.
Yeah, but it did cost CLG a lot. That is what you got to remember there. Broxah should be able to walk it out, but that is 2 stopwatches, a flash on Wind. That is a very expensive disengage. Those stopwatches, you don't get them back. And that summoner spell is going to be down now for the next potential fight. And Wind is that key member. So if he is without flash, if he can be knocked in by Broxah and burst out by Jensen, that can change the game completely. So we'll see, can TL really be able to kind of punish them for that? Because I think CoreJJ, one of his biggest strengths is actually finding these windows and punishing summoners. He's someone that is constantly talking about that in their comms, and I think they're going to be looking very heavily for Wind in this next fight.
I am surprised CLG aren't hitting Baron right now. I'm looking at TL's vision. They have not seen Baron or Wind or Ruin or Wiggily for 15 seconds straight. A ward got cleared and CLG was like, they'll check it, it's fine. The mid lane was cleared. They actually had the chance to sneak Baron. I understand I'm making that call. I'm not saying CLG made a wrong call, but that window was actually there for them.
And it's one of those things that you have to look at, right? And you have to kind of consider, how do they feel about their state in the game, right? If they think, hey, maybe it's a bit risky to go over there and perhaps get corralled in that Baron pit with no flash on Wind, we are already at soul point, we are in a point where we think we're going to win those team fights as long as we execute, then hey, maybe you don't take that risk. And I think that's a reasonable call to make too, and might be what CLG is kind of saying.
Well, soul point, as you mentioned, 70 seconds away from that one. They've maintained the 2,500 gold lead. The only question is, does it get weaker with the flash down and with the stopwatches down? Because Wind is now a target. He can be saved by Thresh, he can be saved by Janna, but that's up to outplays. A little bit less reactive.
Yeah. Gotta give credit to CLG. Their vision is really good over by this dragon area.
Oh, that's a big hook, but not the target they want to go for. Core still pretty tanky. Smoothie kites away after shock now on cooldown. Pobelter, can he find a stun? Not yet.
Yeah, there's no vision on that side though for TL. So if Broxah steps too far forward, he could actually potentially get comboed out here by Pobelter. He doesn't know that he's there. Now will spot him with that pink ward, but it's a completely dark map right now for that TL squad on the bottom side river. 3 pink wards covering that area for CLG, and really 4 pink wards if you're going to add in that one in the mid lane. They know what they want to play for, and they are investing all their vision in this area.
Pillar hook attempted, Q down the line. They clear the wave for the most part, and a ward hop gets Broxah away as the timers tick down. 10 seconds on Infernal, and CLG are going to hit Baron as Liquid now can easily send one player to solo the Drake. The question is, can they stop Baron 4v5?
I don't think they can. I think they have to commit to going up to challenge at that Baron. I don't think they're willing to actually give it away. There is a blue orb available for Jensen, it looks like, so Will they actually check it? They've got to know they're on it.
Down to half health, there's the reveal. Impact tanking the front line, burns a stopwatch early, and nice, a play back means there's an opening. Damage and a ruin though, has to flash away. When does the heal come out? Shields himself, but Wiggily goes down. The ulti was already burned, and there's nothing for CLG at all. Team Liquid crushed that team fight.
Yeah, Jensen is tearing through them now. He has had such a free game to farm up, sitting on death cap, fully upgraded power core there, has a sheen as well. And Jensen's damage plus Tactical's ultimate reaching through that back line absolutely shreds them. CLG are going to try to rush for Soul. They're actually now TPing cross map. This should be theirs. And NTL actually get down there because remember, CLG has no junglers who actually stop this.
Wind has so much damage. So nice play by CLG. That is smart to read the map. I want to give credit when it's due, but this is now scary. Impact is ultless. Can he find the knockup? A lantern over the wall. Impact could have gone for a flash E. That would be such a huge risk. Doesn't go for it. The wave is cleared. Now Baron for Team Liquid. This is only going to last 2.5 minutes. They need to get something done. Or CLG, I think, might just outscale with the Soul.
Yeah, I mean, the Soul is a really big deal. So let's watch this fight one more time. I think the early stopwatch was great from Impact, buying time for his team to get into position. That was a really nice pillar, though, from Wiggily. Locks him up. Jensen, though, over the wall, drops the ult alongside the MF ultimate. And his laser coming over top, dealing so much damage. Then Impact finding the follow-up ulti, allowing Jensen's ultimate there to catch back up and finish off Wiggily. They do get the Baron, but in the long run, Soul is better because that is the permanent buff. So, as you say, TL has some pressure on them to get things done now.
Yeah, I think they can though, right? They've tied the gold back up. They are 4 now more powerful. 2 minutes of Baron buff. They can definitely take some turrets down. They're trying in the bottom lane. Impact leading the charge. Jensen knocked up, but he has so much damage. A single E auto. That's the turret down to 1/3. Second auto, third auto. Turret is gone. Still a minute and a half. Team Liquid gonna achieve more with this buff. Bot lane, we're gonna let that one get wave cleared. The mid could be under fire. Top, if they go there, they can shove that one in too.
Now this Infernal Soul is going to be really helpful as far as the damage is concerned from CLG, but obviously if it is not the mountain, it is not the ocean, it's not going to increase their survivability, so they still have the potential to get first kills on the side of Team Liquid. And I think, you know, funny enough, in this case, even though you would think, hey, you're low on damage, that would be really important, I think it is better that TL are able to give up the Infernal compared to something like the Ocean Soul or a Mountain Soul, which would just make it so Janna can just keep resetting the fight and keep kind of healing you back up. CLG is more dependent on survivability, I think, right now than damage.
Yeah, look at Infernal Soul damage right now, and you're looking at, you know, about 150 damage every 3 seconds if you're working optimally. 50 DPS per member on Ornn is not a big DPS upgrade. Like, generally speaking, Impact can tank that. He's got a stone plate, he's kind of fine, but yeah, Jensen's gonna one-shot Wind if he doesn't have a lot of MR and a shield. And by the way, Wind has base MR right now, right? He's sitting at 33 against the, well, no flat pen, but it's still not a lot of resistances.
I mean, Jensen is on 756 AP with the upgraded death cap plus the Baron buff. Obviously, that will expire and then will go down some, but he is on a really, really strong one combo type build. Has rank 3 ultimate now that he didn't even have in that previous fight, so all of the additional experience that he's been picking up is a big deal.
It is. It's a big deal. And Team Liquid, with the tail end of Baron buff, look for turret number 5. They managed to tie the turret score. There's mid tier 2 going down. Top tier 2 barely lives. The turret score was 1-4 not that long ago. 4 straight turret kills for Liquid. The Baron buff helped with that, obviously. The question is, as this buff times out, as it has ended, as the top turret dies, and TL can go for the reset, can CLG now use the Drake Soul to come back from a 2,000 gold deficit?
Yeah, and I think that's really the question, right? CLG, their best chance at getting fights that they want is just going to neutral objective. So I think we are waiting for this Elder Dragon, because that is where you know TL has to contest you. Otherwise, CLG's engage just isn't strong enough to really kind of get a lot of picks or things like this unless they can control vision and find someone face checking. TL want to keep playing side lane, and Jensen is built intelligently for that, so TL going to keep spreading the map. As a result, they're likely going to continue to get more gold over the next couple of minutes, but then so much of it will come down to that Elder Dragon, which is just as strong whether you have 1 dragon or 4. So both teams, I think, going to be highly dependent upon that.
2 minutes, almost identical timing on these. As the Wind is given the farm, he is clearing and clearing and clearing. He is behind on gold credit tactical by 2k. He's behind Pobelter by 2k. Second richest on his team. 3 item spike's not bad, but Full 4 for Tactical. I love that he, by the way, went for the reminder. He added a very efficient healing reduction item to that build. Molten Edge gets upgraded there as well. The inventory looks really nice on Team Liquid.
Yeah, it really does. And it's one of those things, I think Trundle is one of the champions that his healing is underestimated the most. You know, Trundle heals so much when you have a big, beefy target like Ornn to ult. So having that on him can be worth an immense amount of damage in a fight, just that Grievous means.
Looking for the next fight. Team Liquid right now feeling comfortable. They're the ones clearing mid-wave first, but CLG want to get back out on the map. You can see though how far back they're playing it. Team Liquid still feel more comfortable. The pillar means a disengage. Impact does not want to go in yet. Clear the wave, but you can see it's obviously Team Liquid. We're able to walk forward. We're able to put wards down. Have the chance to sweep. They can poach the jungle camps. Liquid, in a neutral game state, feel more powerful.
Yeah, but you know, I also would like to see them get over into this area. This is all CLG wards. They want to have that cleared out before the Elder does spawn. They haven't actually taken the time to utilize that mid lane control and actually move back and sweep out those wards. So I do think that is a bit of a mistake. Despite the fact that they have mid lane control, CLG doesn't have to care if they still have vision.
That's the funny thing is I think the moment passed for Team Liquid. You want to usually reset 1 minute. That is the timer. You go 1 minute before the buff spawns. It's now past 30 seconds. There's only 3 control wards left in inventory. Now 2, and CLG have the river, which means TL's not taking the river back. That vision belongs to CLG and will as this Drake spawns.
Yeah, so definitely a mistake there from TL to not get much out of that mid lane prio. And now it is a very, very scary face check that they're going to have to do. Impact can move over, but they need to be grouped up. And Broxah now really low to start that fight. Bit of a chunk from Pobelter. Puts him down below half.
And this is the push going forward. Wiggily burns the ult. They're looking to chunk down Impact, who ults away, and stone plates and jumps away. A quick redemption resets the health bars. And does CLG feel comfortable or what? Team Liquid can barely join the river. Ruin putting some more healing down. Here's the Ornn horn. Here's the attempt. They find the stun on the Thresh, and it will be a kill, but will it be traded back? It's Ruin already going down. Broxah cannot find the steal, so is Elder Dragon enough? Wind is safe, but here comes Tactical. The Elder Dragon can't go off in time, and Tactical wins the duel. Only Broxah goes down, and 3 of CLG are dead.
And TL can potentially go to the Baron. It looks like they're going to try to make this rush for it, but they are so low. This would be incredibly risky. Tactical is going to grab the red buff to heal up and also have that out-of-combat regen. Yeah, TL are going to make the call. They got to reset. No, instead they're just going right on it. There's 2 wards there. Pobelter does have teleport. They have got to try to prevent this. These guys are so low.
He has Spike Flash. He has Spike Flash, and Broxah's dead. If he can get any vision at all, yeah, there's no way. TL had to leave. That is the right choice to leave. With that control ward, Wiggily 100% of the time, 85% of the time, gets that Baron.
I like the edit there on the percentage as we see this one more time. CLG did a great initial job poking multiple members out, but as TL moved in, too many members from CLG had already committed to the Elder, so they could no longer prevent Team Liquid from actually moving up and taking down multiple members. Once they get that, you can see Broxah going in, smites it down to 280, went down to 240 off an auto, and then is secured by Wiggily. That is a tough one for Broxah. He did smite a bit early, but also because he's slow and gonna get focused, he has to, or he could just get knocked down. And Tactical there, barely surviving, is able to get a kill. And that's 3 of the Elder buffs removed now from CLG because multiple members actually got killed off after that fight. It is still on Wiggily, it is still on Pobelter. That is a big deal, especially when you think Pobelter now has Infernal Soul, which is going to help his burst combo. And he only has to get you to 20% and then you just die.
Oh, Impact gets stuffed up by the pillar. The ego's nowhere for knocking the pillar down. And Counterleft Gaming got to feel comfortable. Syndra and Trundle have the Elder Dragon. They're now going top river, which they also own.
Jensen now on Void Staff here too, and so much of the heavy lifting has had to be done by him this game. He has everything he needs to dominate in a team fight, but it's going to be tough, and CLG still staying on this Baron. It's down to about half.
Watch for the ultis. Watch for getting the damage down. Watch for the burn. Nice little Infernum turret. As Wiggly's down to about half HP, does have his ulti for the re-engage. Tactical in the wings, waiting for the play. Redemption will heal up Wiggly.
It's still so low. Look at the Baron.
Who can get the smite? Who can get in? There's the Q landing. The smite again. It goes to Wiggly, and Counter Logic Gaming have to feel comfortable, but Wiggly has to flash away. Ruin. I think it's the second time he's instant canceled his own ultimate. But the reset comes in, CLG can hold mid lane.
Yeah, they are going to have to back off. I'm not sure if it was actually a Viktor ult that did cancel it, because Viktor does have that little mini silence on the first tick. But that was TL making the call to try to combine the MF ultimate with Broxah going in and look for the steal. But 2 out of 2 times, Broxah has been outsmited by Wiggily, and that is such a big deal. Those 2 smites really have decided a lot of this game. If TL got both of those objectives, potentially they just end off that last team fight win by that dragon point. So really good job by Wiggily, and now CLG are in control and are gonna have a lot of power right now for this next couple minutes.
Elder Dragon gone, Baron buff on for 2 minutes here as they clear the top side, and Pobelter's gonna be running out of item slots. Wiggily though, a lot of room to grow, gonna start taking farm here, and he's gonna go for some very heavy armor on the top. That fight again, very close fight battle here across the jungle.
I kind of felt like TL could have just committed to the fight and moved in as 5-man squad, but instead, Tactical, watch him over the wall. He's just waiting for the ulti to combine with Broxah, drops the ultimate here, Q in, and they try to combine on this. The smite, we can't see, it might be a pick on Wiggily.
Lantern gets into safety, nice root comes in, no follow through on a Jensen, they don't quite have what they need. Pobelter was split pushing and has very fast recalls. So he will be safe as well. CLG comfortable in the 4v5. Lanterns for safety. Impact spellbooks to 2 utility summoners. Cleanse and exhaust are on.
Yeah, it can be really nice if you can get a good exhaust off on someone, especially like that Syndra. It would be a very big deal. But Baron power play, really just kind of evening out the gold. Yes, there is additional gold value over on those Ornn items too. We have to take that into consideration, but it does feel like it's pretty much just down to the execution at this point. CLG have not clearly taken over with this soul. TL are still hanging on, and I think we're just going to the next Elder. CLG just don't feel like they are able to actually push and get enough done with the Baron buff or with the Elder that they had for a little bit. So it's going to be another objective, and that second Elder could be the key for them.
Counterlogic Gaming. Clear in mid. 30 seconds on Baron. That will drop in plenty of time to fight for Elder Dragon. But again, they're going for this bottom jungle. CLG, it feels like, have had the better vision control overall in this game. I think they've gotten more accomplished. Ruin with the sweeper. Best support in the game. 119 vision score. Pretty incredible for a career top laner. Doing the best to keep his team happy in that regard. I guess it's no surprise CLG wins in vision. 2 Sightstones takes the sweeper there. Impact has to walk away. CLG still comfortable in mid. Baron buff is now gone. That's going to change the texture a little bit.
Yeah. But again, you're in this spot now as TL where you have to walk through this whole dark area. They have no vision even really in their own jungle, so you're going to be getting chunked out by Pobelter, who's 6 items. Pobelter is full build here. 5-1 on the Syndra, has been quietly having a great game. And every single Q, whether you're a tank or not, is meaning a lot.
Definitely hurts. We'll see if they can find that next engage as the Ornn horn is sounded. Pillar comes up. Impact wants in. Finds only the front line. But Wiggily, look how much damage he can take. Lantern means safety, though, and he has ulti. He's got stats. There's some damage up, but ult comes over. That might just be an impact, but he's barely getting away. A flash gets out from the lasso. But Elder Dragon is alive, and Counterlogic Gaming feel pretty healthy. Ruin's ult is down, but they can still walk over.
Impact has no TP. He's on the flash exhaust right now. So CLG likely just going to get this. The only chance is maybe a Broxah steal, but if Broxah goes for the steal and dies,
last
CLG
2
might
smites have gone to one side. The pillar buys some space. He Qs in. Can they wait it out? Wiggly's getting low. Smite lands again. A kick doesn't buy enough. There's no way out for Broxah. He should be going down, and he does. 5v4 in the map, and an Elder Dragon on for 2.5.
Yeah, CLG able to come out on top again. Pobelter getting so much damage down on that front line. While TL looked for the engage, Pobelter was on the side poking at them that whole time. And TL were never able to get over to him. It is another Elder going that way. Broxah with a desperation attempt on that steal. His Q didn't even connect, so he had to ward hop in and try to smite it away, which is going to be a really low percentage play there. But Feldy needed to go for it. Again, Wiggily coming out on top. So here it is one more time. He looks for the Q. Doesn't actually connect on that dragon. Not able to do it. So he does Q in onto Wiggily, trying to smite that. Not able to get out. Cost him his life. And Wiggily has really been on point with these smites so far this game. A lot of credit deserved by him.
Absolutely the case. His items are finishing up. See that game going up and down, back and forth off of smites and team fights and everything else. As Counterlogic Gaming in the driver's seat here.
They have dictated the pace of the game for most of it. They have been the ones who have gotten so many more objectives. You know, taking the Baron, taking double Elder or Dragons to the just one. TL are still in this. CLG just struggling to actually push and get anything done. Every time they take an objective, it just feels like they're kind of unsure of what to do with it. And they're not feeling confident in their ability to actually walk up and siege because they have no way to actually deny the Ornn engage. There's no Braum on their team or flash shield or anything like that. So I think they're just not confident to move forward when there's no flash on their carries against this Ornn. But it does mean it's pretty damn easy for TL to kind of just wait out a lot of these objectives, right? There's only 30 seconds left on Elder. CLG has done nothing with it. They're just taking the Elder, and then they're going to go to the Baron and try to get that. But if you can't do anything with the Baron either, it just feels like we're kind of running in circles here. CLG are getting all the major objectives, but not able to close.
All right, round 3 on the Baron. Team Liquid hoping to win this BO3. It's already so incredibly low. Q lands again. Ornn hits 3. Here comes the attempted re-engage again. The smites just keep going over to Wiggily, but the health bars are low and Smoothie. Days are numbered. Ruin's ult was already been used, gets the heal, but it's CLG feeling comfortable. Top lanes have been pushed down. They win the base race, so Team Liquid must recall.
Yeah, that is 4 straight major objectives where Wiggily has won the smite fight against Broxah, and now CLG have the inside track. They might finally break the base here because TL was out of position, and they just rushed down and knocked down that inhibitor tower here.
The turret's definitely gone. They know the Ornn ult and the Viktor ult are down as well, but Counterleft Gaming not yet willing to push their limits. A lowish health bar on Smoothie means they will recall and use the remaining 2 minutes of Baron buff to maybe finally crack into the base. Keep in mind, Pobelter has been done buying items for 5 minutes now.
Yeah. I mean, I gotta be honest, I just don't think they actually are gonna do anything more with this Baron based on what we've seen the last couple times. They are very hesitant to push. Flashes are still on cooldown for their carries, so we'll see if they're willing to try to get something done here. I think CLG are just kind of hoping they can kind of just stay around and eventually get a pick and then maybe end the game off that, but they don't have a lot of good ways to find picks, so we're just kind of in this stalemate that has just been back and forth. CLG gets a big objective, TL waits it out, CLG gets the next big objective, waits it out, and we're kind of just going back and forth, waiting for something to happen. And the longer you do this as CLG, you are giving more opportunities to TL to find a good engage and potentially win the fight off of it, because that timer's become very, very long when you're 46, 47 minutes in.
Kill might be all they need. We've still got about a minute and a half left on this Baron power play, and Counterleft Gaming crossing the T's, dotting the rise, making sure there's not too much vision around. They got their own control wards down. There is one in the jungle they're walking by, but looking at bot lane tier 2, Pobe has shepherded in the wave. Wiggly's there to cut off the opposing one, and that means it's turret number 7. CLG once again retake the turret kill lead. They wait to see if they can siege any farther.
And the gold matters a little, but not a lot at this point, where most of the carries are all done their items. You know, it's mostly just, can you crack the base? Can you deal game-ending damage? And that is where CLG has struggled, but they are trying to remedy that by pushing multiple lanes. Impact, though, looking for the engage.
Finds a knock-up onto 3. Rune's waiting around, puts the shield down, puts the redemption there as well, and Wiggily puts in the ulti. Gets some steals away from CoreJJ. Jensen's down to half, and that might signal the disengage. Only one ult used, and it's enough to push them away. Middle inhibitor is cracked. Top inhibitor going to be an easy attack here as well. CLG should have no problems knocking this one down. And they have reduced Team Liquid's base to shambles. Aphelios there. Bullet time means next to nothing, but Wiggily almost goes down. Ult comes in for CoreJJ. Pobelter cannot quite find the kill in tactical. Slowed down by Braum. Has to respect Viktor now as well. Finds another stun. Can't quite find the kill though. And actually the inhib will live.
Pobelter is playing these fights so well. Honestly, the scatter to interrupt tactical's ultimate, finding multiple long-range combos there, chunking out TL members. He basically solo forced the flash out of tactical and interrupted the ultimate, which potentially could have killed off Wiggily. So Pobelter really has been playing incredibly well in this game, and you've got to give him some credit. You know, when he came in for CLG, he has really been a big factor for this team, winning lane phases against almost everyone. He has been dominant in a lot of his games, team fighting wise. Looking great here again, 6-1 on the Syndra. Not much to complain about from Pobelter.
The last time I saw CLG with Dragons 50 minutes in, they lost to a base race. Impact very tanky, will not go down, but a flay might mean core drops. Not enough damage to the Syndra. Look at the stun in the front line. Wiggily, he's healing, he's finally going down. A 1-for-1 on that fight as they trade jungler for top laner.
I think that does go in favor, as far as combat power of CLG, but because there is an objective here that you're fighting over, it's risky to try the Elder when you have no jungler. So TL should be able to push CLG back right now. We'll see if they want to commit to it. This is when you would hope Broxah would be able to smite.
Yeah, they can get rid of the vision, and Wind has a lot of damage. Broxah has Guardian Angel yet again. They find the hook, they go in for the play, but isn't enough damage. Pobelter's cut off from the fight, and the Elder Dragon is helping Team LCKR, but so far, CLG have stayed alive. They got that pick, they disengaged, and the respawn 30 seconds away.
Yeah, Jensen on the side here is trying to threaten them, but this is very, very scary stuff. If TL do die here, the game could just end, so Broxah's got to be damn sure if he's going to go in for this attack.
Oh, a lot of damage. Tactical stays alive, but Smoothie's running out of health. The Elder Dragon's still hitting him.
He's behind him.
Pope is behind. Can he find the stun? He flashes. He gets the Guardian Angel. He gets the Elder Dragon. He gets the double kill. He's going to get the triple as well. Team LCKR will not withstand the power of notorious POB.
The absolute 1v9 play. Pobelter takes over the game, teleports in 1v3s, and says, Team LCKR, get out my game.
I can't tell if the crowd is chanting CLG or POB, but 11-1 on Syndra will make you believe that was a 1v9. That was a sick game. And Counter Logic Gaming take down Team LCKR.
Pobelter, my God, what a game and what an ending. CLG had so much trouble closing that one out, and Pobelter takes the bull by the horns. He says, I'm gonna be the one to do it.
Imagine coming to 2020 not being on a starting lineup. Here he is, hard carrying Counter Logic Gaming to a victory over Team LCKR. The best thing that happened to CLG all year is Pobelter joining in the mid lane. Beautiful stuff against his old team. That's gotta feel sweet.
Imagine being a team who didn't pick up Pobelter in the 2020 season, seeing how well he has played.
Yeah.
This man is on an absolute tear. The crowd is loving it.
All right, they said they'd fight until they were guaranteed they couldn't make it. It is an uphill road, believe you me. It's gonna be a tough scrap if CLG want to make it to top 6. With 5 games to play, they are 3 wins behind that mark. They're gonna need some help. They can't even guarantee it themselves, but you get games like that, maybe you can claw your way and just barely make it.
It is possible that they can still make it, but even if they can't, they're having something that they can build upon now. And here is the pro view replay. Pobelter teleports in, spots him with the blue ward, flash, 3-man scatter, ultimate on one, QW on the other to kill him off. And then while Broxah is in that GA, the spells come back up. He can finish him off. Even flex on him with the Zonias. He's loving it. He's laughing it up, and rightfully so. That was the play of the season. That was just so fantastic.
Yeah. Almost an hour long into that game, and Counter Logic Gaming came away with it. Now on the other side, we're going to hear from Pobelter on that win. So stay tuned. Hear from the man himself.
Welcome back. I am here with Pobelter after the huge win for CLG against Team Liquid. Congratulations on that win. Now for you, we need to take it back to that game-winning play. You on Syndra picking up that triple kill, so use that photographic memory and run me through that.
Well, the game was going on like forever. I think we got maybe like 2 or 3 variants, and that was the 3rd Elder Dragon. So it was just going on forever, and I was just like, man, something needs to happen. And then the TP angle looked really good, and then I TP'd in. I think my teammates chunked them all to 1 HP, so I just cleaned it up.
I mean, yeah, you did exactly that. Playmaker extraordinaire. Now, I know that we've joked a little bit about how you've infiltrated Immortals, FlyQuest, Team Liquid, and, you know, you're bringing the information back to CLG. But I spoke with Broxah earlier today, and he said that when you were coming in as a positional coach, he was teaching you how to jungle to prepare you. So did you feel like you and CLG had the upper hand going into this game against Team Liquid, or were people coming to you for the preparation?
I mean, I think there's just some things that I knew about their team because just like familiarity with what champions they're gonna pick. So like, you know, if we leave Ornn open, they're probably gonna pick Ornn because Impact likes to play Ornn. Just basic things like that. But yeah, it was pretty funny having Broxah teach me jungle. I was like trying to play Kiana jungle, and then I was just like dying to my camps, and I was like, bro, you gotta help me out here.
Well, I mean, it looks like you found your place back in the mid lane on CLG. But I mean, speaking to some of these picks and champions, Janna in the top lane was a bit of a head scratcher. I know in EU we've seen a lot of supports go top, but didn't expect to see it here today. So what was the thought process behind that?
Ruin just likes to play that stuff for whatever reason. He played Soraka when it was popular, and then that got just perma-banned against him every game. And then everyone just like, Janna got nerfed, and then no one played this for like 3 weeks, and then some guy was just like, hey, what about Janna? And then everyone just started playing Janna top, so.
Well, I mean, it worked out for you today. But I mean, your play wasn't the only amazing thing. We also saw Wind coming in, being subbed in from your academy team, and he also played a very good game. So what did you think of him being brought into the team? What kind of support did you offer for him, and how did he meet expectations today?
I think the team has just been trying a bit of stuff. You know, we're 2-10 before today, so we're just trying what could possibly make our team improve on stage. And yeah, he started playing scrims at the start of the week, and he was performing really well. Today, I think in the match, he played pretty fine. I think he had some of those like initial first game jitters, but I think the more he keeps playing, the better he's going to keep playing.
Well, I can't wait to see even more of that. Pobelter, once again, congratulations to you and the team. And that is it for us here on the stage. So let's hear more about the game from the State Farm Analyst Desk.
Thank you, Aphelios. Pobelter. Pobelter,
yeah.
Pobelter. What more is there to say about this game other than Pobelter?
We're looking at a replay again with his vision and flashing over the queue as well. All the style points.
Oh my God.
Zanya's at the end too.
Oh, it was so impressive.
No, when he said like something needs to happen, that's how he was feeling in game. That's how everyone feels watching this game. Is like, we need some flashes to go in to make these plays.
Right, I mean, there was an earlier example, we were checking it, like, there was 2 seconds on Jensen's Q. He could have potentially flashed in to try and set Pobelter up for to kill Pobelter, but Pobelter's the one who's willing to go for the flash in to actually end the game. And it's so important to be willing to make plays like that to get out of these stalemate situations. And it's awesome to see him subbing back in. He's the one leading the charge. 11 kills that game out of 14 on Pobelter.
0 assists.
Let me remind you.
What a kill.
Team player.
Yeah,
Let me remind you that Team Liquid actually let Pobelter go to CLG.
That's true.
As their mid laner. He was their coach.
He's like, come on, let us take the win.
They gave CLG their win condition. I think the coolest part of that interview was just his comment of, I saw the TP angle, right? But then when you watch the replay, he saw that angle. He saw teleport, home guard, chase him down, like the foresight, as you mentioned, to make something happen and to realize the game state, being pretty static as it was, needed some kind of disruption.
I mean, that's so uncomfortable to be in that position where you're that late in the game, no one's actually dying, everyone's just really low HP, and you watch Wind up there doing a really good job. He's actually poking over the wall. So I think, yeah, Pobelter finally was like, I've had enough of this. You guys have no summoners, you're half HP. I got Elder, I'm coming in.
That was good. It was a very beautiful play out of him. But of course, we have to recognize that the game was brought to that state, right? We ended up in a position where 3 Elders, 3 Barons are being taken, and I kind of want to figure out how we got there. I think, no surprise, that Team Liquid was quick to pick up the Ornn, as Pobelter mentioned. I feel like any team at this point, if that is left up, will pick it. But the response of the Janna, first time we've seen it here in the LCS.
Yeah, I mean, CLG have gotten 2 wins now with support top lanes. Pobelter was talking about in the interview. Ruin likes to play those types
Don't get it,
of
but he
top
likes
laners. And again, it's the same like low economy, sharing gold, giving gold to your jungler style thinking, but also making a very secure team fight. They talked about a lot on the cast as well, about how many plays Janna can deny for your enemy team. And they denied and they denied until they got 7 giant neutral objectives at the end, multiple Barons, multiple Elder Dragons.
Yeah, I mean, there was also not to mention even the lane swap, the fact that we had mid impact on Ornn to give the Viktor the matchup into the Janna. So there was a lot of interesting stuff going on there. And I think that probably helped lead to the slower game. It was a slightly uncomfortable where it's like, how do we beat Janna? You know, the teams are trying to figure these comps out as they're going.
Right.
Whereas as opposed to like, oh, we're super rehearsed on this.
Right. I mean, like Ornn just straight up doesn't die and Janna keeps everyone alive.
Yeah, I think that was a big part of the game, was they picked Janna top, and now you're no longer, I'm Ornn. I'm going to ult and fight this. Yeah. I'm not going to be like that kind of I'm going to play a little bit different. So, anyways,
Janna!
Apologies. So,
I'm with you,
when
man.
the Janna came out, the best part about her right now, because I'm not completely sold on it, but she's a psychological warfare champion. When you play against this, you're so frustrated. When they fought top lane, you saw like 3 ults go out trying to kill the Janna at one point because they're like, why is no one dying?
Yeah.
But I'll give TL some credit. We saw in the mid game, Jensen going in side lane. I love that.
Yes.
He needs to go there more because it pulled Syndra out because Janna does not take TP, she takes heal. So by putting your mid laner in a side lane and pulling their mid laner, now it's like Janna's protecting just the AD carry, and that was like their only damage.
Yeah.
So when they were doing that, they kind of pulled the game apart, but I think Team Liquid was not confident enough with that playstyle where Jensen on a split pusher.
I mean, honestly, if Team Liquid had gotten one of those steals, I think, one of the Barons,
a single
one of the Elder Dragons, I think that they would have been able to utilize that much, much better.
Right.
But because Wiggily hits all of these critical smites for them, CLG are able to stall until a point where Pobelter can actually end the game for them. So I think Wiggily deserves a lot of credit too.
Without a doubt there, the secures were big for CLG. We've had this whole conversation about the game after the fact, but I'll remind us that the conversation coming in was the fact that both teams are playing with Academy bot laners. Yes, Tactical had a week on the LCS stage just last week, but for Wind, his first time out, just general feelings of, as we go back to laning phase, if any of y'all can remember that, how any of this went.
Yeah, Tactical was killed level 1 in a 4v2 dive.
Yeah.
Nice analysis.
So Wind, and if you look at that replay, Wind walks up into like melee range of the tower to get the first auto attack. I think there was miscommunication of some other member of CLG was supposed to get that tower aggro, because then your AD carry is the closest to the tower, had to get all the way out, so that's why he went down first. But they returned to this bottom lane, and as you can see, the return focus did pay off.
I think when Pobelter was talking about the jitters, that was kind of the moment where I noticed, like, yeah, he's first game on stage, he accidentally take the turret first, but after that, he started doing damage. When they were contesting Elder, he was standing in front of his team actually like, shooting people, so I was like, that's pretty good.
And the one person I actually want to give a lot of credit to is Smoothie. I think it's easy to get caught up in all the other things going on in that game, but he has some monster hooks, monster flays. If you go back and watch some of the Baron situations, Impact they would try and use the MF ult to push people against the wall with the Ornn ult, and then Ornn would try and E the wall, and Smoothie flayed him out of the Ornn E like 2 or 3 times to stop multi-man knockups from hitting his team. It was actually super impressive.
Yeah. He also got flays on the Braum to catch CoreJJ.
My final point here, and I hate to do this to you guys, but I'm just going to remind you where y'all put your money.
We're going down together.
Probably also has one in Cloud9, so he lost more.
Yeah, probably had a very rough day today.
This was not a great day for me. My stonks are not great.
Go again. Producers trying to tell me something? Crumbs went all in on CLG.
No.
I just confirmed that before this week, Crumbs went all in on CLG. That is a massive victory for the Prophet off air. He'll be in here tomorrow, I'm sure, to talk about it and to gloat in y'all's faces. We've heard your calls for an encore, and here it is. Pentakill once again with more cowbell.
Coach turned down 5%. Coaches.
You hate me, Louis.
I'm so sad. I don't need coaches.
Oh, instant play to the bottom side. Can they knock down Tactical at level 1? The tower dive is not working yet, finally. Ruin flashing for the slow. The chase down, is it enough with the blast cone? Trying to get him away, and Broxah goes down to Wiggily. They find the stun on the Thresh, and it will be a kill, but will it be traded back? It's Ruin already going in. Broxah cannot find the steal, so is Elder Dragon enough? Wind is safe, but here comes Tactical. The Elder Dragon can't go off in time. Pope is behind. Can he find the stun? He flashes. He gets the Guardian Angel. He gets the Elder Dragon. He gets the double kill. He's gonna get the triple as well. Team Liquid will not withstand the power of notorious POB.
It's Jake from State Farm. Sounds like a really good deal.
Jake from State Farm at 3 in the morning. Who is this?
It's Jake from State Farm.
What are you wearing, Jake from State Farm?
Khakis? Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Well, it's about time we got to work. There we go. Red Bull gives you wings. The new Red Bull Zero and Red Bull Sugar Free. Full of wings, free of sugar.
When you're chasing greatness, just remember, it's not about what you say. It's about what you do.